Okay, this is Logan Hawk again, and I'm also known as the Angry Christian on Blog Talk Radio. And I'm coming back to the topic of atheism, more specifically, more on Richard Dawkins and his claims on the God Delusion and the root of all evil. And although this is my second part on atheism, this will be my last part on uh, Richard Dawkins. I might do a third part. I don't know, uh, but I doubt it. Then I'll go on to just mainstream atheism. But again, he's going on about about these extremists, the Catholics who are stereotypically, they don't believe in condoms, don't believe in any sort of birth control, and what about using condoms in AIDS-ridden Africa? Well, Richard Dawkins, I do have to say this is the one aspect I agree with you on, okay? And there are many in many Christian denominations who don't believe in birth control, they believe in, if you're going to have sex, it should be to procreate. But Richard Dawkins, I will say that I do agree with you on this aspect. I've wondered myself, why don't we supply condoms and birth control and help for those in AIDS-ridden Africa, those that are, not able to take care of themselves, feed themselves. I don't know. Maybe that's a little cruel of me. I'm not saying we should force it. I'm saying it should be offered. Um, you mentioned, Richard Dawkins, of a professor who rejoiced in being wrong. 15 years worth of work, all disproven in one speech by a U.S. scientist, and he rejoiced in being wrong because the facts were presented to him. Once again, I would really love to see this mountain of evidence that you keep talking about that speaks against religion. You keep talking about, mountains and mountains of evidence, and I'm not hearing any. You make a statement about if there is a designer, then who made the designer? I personally believe that God lives in an eternal realm where there is no time because time is a man-made thing. And even if there... Okay, fine, let me play your logic. Let's say that God has a God above him. Well, in that case, you know what? I'm just going to keep praising the God that I know. And if he does something wrong, then he has to answer to his God. If I play along with that logic, it really doesn't matter. I keep in line the best I can with my God. He keeps in line with his, and we're all good. If he's keeping in line with his God and I'm keeping in line with him, then everybody's good. Let's see. You talk about an $18 million worship center in called New Life Church in Colorado Springs. Once again, way to go, way to advertise for these people. Because this Ted Haggard, I love the guy already. I want to shake his hand. I want to go out to Colorado Springs and meet the man. Because he flat told you that you need to start looking at the facts and present the facts and don't be arrogant. Somebody finally told you. But you tried to use that to say that this man verbally attacked you, and you showed video of him pulling up on his truck, as you claimed, but you didn't. No audio, no video, no nothing on his insults to you that you so adamantly claimed to try to make him look bad? I'm sorry, once again, here you are with your blatant lack of evidence. You are a very shady scientist. Wow, What a way to show, once again, no evidence. Let's see. You talk about how in the world we live in a world of various shades versus black and white. But then you say that theism is wrong and atheism is right. You say believing in God is wrong and atheism, not believing in God, is right. You say there are shades and no black and white, but then you turn around and claim fact, 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 fact. Evidence, 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 evidence. You don't give any, but you keep claiming it. Let's see. You keep saying that the Earth is 4.5 billion years old. Once again, you keep talking about a mountain of evidence. What evidence are you speaking of? References, please. Can you please cite a reference? Come on. A reference? Something? Let's see here. Oh, and this was hilarious. I loved that little hippie house you went to talk to these, tie-dye wearing, bell-bottom jeans hippies. This free thinkers group. Nice. Let's see here. You talk about a Palestinian uprising that cost 4,000 lives. So the one time you talk about religion costing lives, you only bring up the Muslims. Or I'm sorry, not necessarily the Muslims, but the Palestinians. Again, we go back to, I could make a better argument for atheism on not only do we have Muslims costing lives, but we have the wars that are mentioned in the Old Testament, Sodom and Gomorrah. There's, the what am I looking for? All the Christian wars. I'm drawing a blank for some reason to the word at the moment, but again, I could go on and on about religious wars and something you don't bring up. But again, what I think is, I don't think it relates to religion. I think it relates to people. See, I don't care if you're a homeless man on the street, or if you're the Pope, or if you're a president, or a prime minister, or a king, or a queen. We're all human. We're all fallible. Let's see. I like this this Yosef that you interviewed, who was raised Jewish in New York and then moved to Israel and became Islam. And I love the fact that you had to include his statement. He said that if there was no Israel, there would have been no September 11th in America. How did he come to that conclusion? Blaming Israel for September 11th in America. And by the way, he talks about clearing Israel of Jews. Come on, outside the Bible, let's do some history here. Just look at history books, and all of them will tell you the Jews were there first. They were there first. A lot of this is, religious killing is a lot of people, again, acting like little kids, Mommy, he started it. That's what it is. It's a lot of people being immature. It's not the religion, it's the people trying to follow it. Let's see here. You mentioned death cults. At least you're willing to admit that there are some worse than others. Let's see. You saw hatred and bigotry, something I've already mentioned in the previous video. And I have to say that religion is like science. The people, the scientist and the theologian, don't know everything. We're following it based on the facts that we have. Speaking of a little bitty known fact, the Old Testament does mention unicorns, but it's a one-horned bull. Look it up. Have a nice day. God bless.